are the 15 basic upper body exercises. Now these are the building blocks of Isshin. The basic blocks and strikes you need to perfect. Because of the organization of the 15 basic uppers, it forces you to practice them over and over in a logical way, and it's easy to repeat because you memorize the sequence of the 15 basic uppers. So go through these, and again, it's something you can practice. After the videotape is over, you can go back, rewind it, and do it again. Practice it on your own. You can do it with the tape, without the tape, it's up to you. But you want to get the black belt, this is something you need to learn. Just even if you're not interested in karate per se, maybe you just want to exercise. Do your exercise with benefits. It's a good way to exercise, plus also get the benefit, the bonus of self-defense. First four are just strikes. We have what's called lunge punch and reverse punch. Lunge, not lunge like food, but lunge punch. Hands in chamber. Your sweeping step in. Don't forget, when you do your sweeping step, you're actually stepping in a seisan stance. Rotate. Right. Right. That's number one. Lunge punch. Let's try that again. Hands in chamber. Sweeping step in. Right. Right. Good. Lunge uppercut. We've done that before, and we've practiced it without the steps. Once again, you step in, and now we're coming from this direction, rotating the hips, coming in, and doing the uppercut. Right. Right. Again. Lunge, uppercut. Lunge just means we're punching off the forward foot. Right. Right. Now the lunge punches are like jabs in boxing. They're not for power so much, more for speed. 3 and 4 are the reverse, and that means we'll be doing reverse off the rear foot. So, off the reverse foot, now we step in with the left foot instead of the right. So step in with your left foot, punching off the rear foot. Right. Right. Again, don't forget the ki. Right. Right. Good. And last, we'll do reverse uppercut. Same thing. But since it's reverse, we step in with the left foot. Step in. Right. Right. Good. Okay, so those are the basic punches. Good to perfect it. Do it over and over again. The more you practice your punch, the more powerful it will be. And with martial arts training, you're training how to make a confrontation or a battle or a fight as short as possible. The shorter the duration of the battle, the safer you are. So you try to do it. One punch, person goes down. Maybe a block and a punch, person goes down. Fight is over. You get to be able to do that with the power that you've garnered over repetition. So you hit the person once such power, they can't remain standing. Okay. Now we'll start with the real meat of the uppers, and that's with the blocks. Now if someone's trying to attack you, the first few that we do, actually 5 through 9, we're going to be stepping back away from the attacker, creating distance between the weapon, which is his fist or something he has in his hand, and your body. So number 5 is called step back, low block punch. So you do your sweeping step back now. Instead of stepping forward as we did with the 1 through 4, now we're stepping back. Again, we're stepping back in a seisan stance. Note the feet. Low block, punch, 8. Step back. Low block, punch, 8. So when you're practicing these, again, you're working on the technique. Just don't do the movements sloppily. You want to actually make sure that you're focused on the detail, which I'm trying to show you right now. Detail is number 1. Sweeping step. Why sweeping step? Because when your foot is in contact with the floor, it's hard for you to lose your balance. You want to have to maintain balance. If you lose your physical balance, you lose your mental balance in battle, and then the fight's over, you lose. So you want to make sure you're in a sweeping step. You want to stay in seisan stance, because of course that is a strong stance from all directions, but not obviously a fighting stance. So again, You're doing your low block punch. Height. Make sure each technique is done. Don't slide them together. Make sure everything is done properly. Step back. Make sure your stance is correct. Make sure your block is correct. Make sure your punch is correct. Height. So it looks simple, but there's many different pieces you want to perfect. Number 6 is middle block punch. Okay, so hands in chamber. Do your sweeping step back, just like you did before. Now you do your middle block. Make sure it's correct. And your punch. Height. Sweeping step back. Make sure your stance is correct. Middle block. Punch. Height. Now we'll start doing more advanced technique. Advanced techniques are open hand techniques. Open hand because not only are they more powerful, more lethal in battle, but also because your hands are open, there's more chance you can injure your fingers. So that's why more training is necessary to perfect these in battle, for battle. Number 7, sweeping step back, middle knife hand block, nukite, height, step back, middle knife hand block, nukite, height. So don't forget the block should be correct, make sure that's perfect. Make sure you're coming from chamber as you're doing your technique. Make sure you remember to bring your other hand back to chamber. Height. The reason why we're coming back to chamber is because it gets you ready for another strike if possible. Okay? So don't just leave your hand out there and do your strike. Make sure your hand comes back to chamber. Good. Okay, that's number 7. Number 8 is high knife hand block uppercut. One of my favorite techniques. Person's punching into the nose area. You're stepping back. Again, good balance, seisson stance. Make sure this is correct. To your high knife hand block, and then you're coming down as you're doing an uppercut. Height. Again, the person's punching into the nose area, doing your high knife hand block, and then uppercut. This is especially lethal. Picture this. The person's punching to your nose. You're stepping back, intercepting the punch right in front of your nose. Then you're going to grab the person's gi in the shirt area, pull them down as you're coming back in your chamber, height, and you're striking them right under the chin. So the power of the person coming towards you when you're pulling them down and the power of your uppercut makes a very lethal technique. Come back, height. So here's the cool thing. You can practice with a friend, you can practice with a relative, but you have to be so very, very careful and make sure the techniques are done carefully. If you hit somebody for real with this technique, they're going to the hospital. What I like is you can practice this over and over and over again with nobody in front of you. Just your imagination. What I do is I picture in my mind's eye someone punching into the nose. I do my block. I can picture myself blocking the person, picture myself grabbing the gi, pulling them in, and doing the technique. I can do it over and over again, and over time, of course, it gets stronger and stronger until it's totally lethal, amazingly powerful. The power you get is through repetition, muscle memory. The speed comes from repetition, muscle memory, over and over and over again. You get faster, more efficient, it becomes more automatic, so it's something you can do without really even thinking about it. Number 9 is called high block punch. Hands in chamber, do your sweeping step back again in your seisson stand, just do a regular high block, which you know how to do, and then your regular punch. Height, step back again, make sure you're in a good seisson stance, high block punch. Height, good. Now we will add something to it, making it a 2-strike technique. So it's called number 10, high block, break nose, punch. So picture a person coming in to strike you in the face. You do your step back. Do your high block. Now, instead of stopping here, you kind of sweep around after you've done the block. You're going to back fist into the nose. Now, back fist I haven't really shown you. It's one of the techniques that we do in Isshinryu where we're striking with these 2 knuckles when you snap it. So what happens is you're rotating the hand, snapping the back fist into the person's nose. So you've blocked. Back fist into the nose, and do the coup de grace, final strike. Height. Into the body. Again, step back, high, block, rotate around, snap the back fist into the nose area, height. So you can do this over and over again without anybody in front of you. Once again, picture. I always picture a mirror image of myself. So I get the right height and I'm consistent in the movement. So you picture the person coming and striking high and you intercept it. If you don't just stop here, you swing around after you've done the block, back fist into the nose, height, and you do the strike again. Height, good. Okay, now we have 11 through 15. Once you get through 10, 11 and 12 actually are like I call a vacation, very easy to do. But now we start stepping forward. When you step forward on an attack, it's much more advanced. Because when you step forward on an attack, that means you're actually moving closer to the attack, to the weapon, which means you have to make sure you're fast enough to intercept it before it actually hits you. You have that perfect timing and perfect body alignment. Make sure you're at a good angle. So number 11 is called low block 5 punches. So you do your sweeping step in this time. You can't see it's on stance. Do your low block and now 5 punches. Height. I'm going to do all 5 to the same area, striking the sternum. Step in. Height. So what's happening is, when you hit the person once, it hurts. You hit them 5 times to the same area, it's devastating. It definitely will destroy whatever you're striking. Make sure you're doing the strikes from chamber. I see them from all over the place. In reality, maybe in a battle, you won't have to be down the chamber to do your strikes, but this is good for building up the muscle strength for the punches. Even if you do them from here, if you get the strength from here, you've got that, and you can apply that to doing your strikes from different areas and angles. Now number 12, the same thing with middle block. Step in, middle block, same middle block, and 5 punches. Height. Height. If you do that a few times, it's easy to do, easy to practice. If you can count to 5, you're set. Again, you're here, step in, middle block, 5 punches. Height. Height. Okay, so that's 11 and 12. We have 13, 14, 15 to go through. But I want to say a little something now, because I know we got some younger kids out there, and sometimes the parents feel the kids can't learn this, young kids. They may not get it as perfectly as an adult, but believe it or not, they'll do it really, really well, especially if they practice it carefully. And the cool thing is, if they start learning these things at age 4, 5, and 6, by the time they're 9, 10, or 11, they are totally lethal, competent. They have muscle memory that nobody can get unless they start at that young age. The martial arts training becomes part of their very being. I've trained some people from the age of 4, and a lot of them are in college now or past college. A lot of them are female. They don't even know what they have. They're so basically physically self-confident because they've had this their whole lives. It precludes most attacks, I think all attacks, because people usually look for victims when they want to attack. And these people do not walk around and act like victims. The aura is there, the self-confidence is there, and it's become such an intrinsic part of their nature, their being, that if they do get attacked, they do things automatically. Now, if you do 4, 5, and 6 as the beginning of your training, it's amazing how incredible these martial artists get to be. Even if they stop, when they're black belt. If you start young enough, you've got that stuff that becomes part of you. And it's something that will really kind of make you feel safe, but the confidence level for people who are this well trained is amazing. They have no fear. They have no physical fear. They don't walk around always looking behind them wondering who's following them. Because they know they're trained well enough, they can do a really good job defending themselves. And the funny thing is, most people I've trained to black belts, especially if they started very young, is they never get attacked. Once again, why? Because just like in the animal kingdom, the lion and the tiger, they look for the victims. They look for the weak. They attack the weak. So just keep in mind that if you're not a victim, the predator will not try to attack you. They'll look for somebody weaker to go against. So you kids out there who are younger, practice these things. You may not get it as perfectly at this point as you would if you were 10 or 11 or 12 doing these things, but you'll get really, really good. And in a couple of years, you'll be amazing at it. But start now. Have your parents help you. Okay, that was 11 and 12. 13 is a really fun technique, and it's hard to learn. This is the one everyone has most trouble with. I call it Shudo strike. Shudo block, Shudo strike. So this one, you're coming in with your left foot forward, You can do a shudo block by taking your left hand and doing a shudo right into the middle area. I picture it against somebody attacking with a knife, perhaps, into the middle area. And you take your other hand out here for the shudo strike and hey. So what's happening is you're stepping in, you're blocking, and then striking. Hey. You're stepping in again. Shudo block, shudo strike. Hey. It's hard because you're working with two sides of the body. In reality, probably it'll be more like this. We don't practice that way because it's too hard to learn. We do step by step. So again, step in with the left foot, shudo block, shudo strike. Hey, step in, block, strike. Hey, okay. So do that a few times. Have somebody help you. It's hard to learn it because you're using both sides of your body, and the coordination is difficult. Now number 14 is a really interesting technique. It's called oizu goizu. That's Okinawan. I'm not sure exactly what the translation is, but in any case, it's palm heel deflection and two inverted roundhouse punches. This is a technique you really see mostly from Okinawan martial arts, not so much in Japanese arts. It's kind of fun to learn. I think it's a good technique. So this one, you're going to step in with the left foot. You can do a palm heel deflection, which looks like it's not really a block, it's more of a deflection. You're deflecting a strike coming in, pushing it to the side. Then you do two inverted roundhouse punches. Inverted roundhouse just means you're going to invert, just like a roundhouse, but you're going to come in and rotate the hands. This hand goes behind you in a fist. Right? So what's happening is you're kind of doing this technique. One hand striking, the other hand is behind to get like a fulcrum type of motion. Right? Step in with the right foot, palm heel, and fist goes behind. Right? Do it again. It's not going to be easy to get this one, but once you have it, it's yours. One nice thing about martial arts is once you've perfected a technique, it's in your brain, you've got it, it's yours forever. You do it once, you learn it, then you just practice it over time, not to learn the technique, but to perfect the power, the strength, the speed, the balance. That's why you practice it. But the hard part, of course, is getting it as part of your repertoire. So sometimes you have to work hard at that, but once you have it, it's great, it's yours, you got it. And then you can use that towards your black belt test. So once again, step in with the left foot, palm heel deflection, as this fist goes behind me, and then two inverted roundhouse punches. Watch both fists, height, step in again, palm heel deflection, height, good. That's number 14. And it's a really great technique and kind of fun to learn. Number 15 is called bear hug break. Now bear hug break, of course, is when someone grabs you from behind in a bear hug and you want to get the heck out. Somebody grabs you from behind in a bear hug, unless they are your girlfriend, boyfriend, or parent, probably not a good thing. So the first thing you do is you step back in the cat stance. Now the front foot is where you do the high block, or kind of middle block, and the other hand goes into chamber, and then you step back. So you're doing like an elbow strike, elbow strike. So once again, you're here, step back, and step back. So this hand goes back, and the strongest part of the technique, which you really can't see, is actually the hip movement. So basically, as you're doing the technique, the hip goes in and breaks the center of gravity of the person.